The standings here heading into the final day of the tournament. Czechia and the U.S. top of the standings, 9 points each, perfect 3-0 records. Slovakia coming off back-to-back bad beatings coming into this game, and this will be their 4th game in a row as they had the first day of the tournament off. Germany is done. They finished off their tournament yesterday with a win over Switzerland, a couple days ago, I should say. And then the Swiss, they are a deceptive 0-3, because when you look at their goals for versus goals against, there's only a 4-goal difference. They've got 11 goals scored, 15 against. They've been right in all 3 of the games they've played.
Well, you look at the way that they came back against the Czechs in that opening game of this tournament. Ended up losing 5-4, came close to tying it up and forcing overtime. And then against the U.S., they were able to come back and they made it a 3-2 game. U.S. added a goal and then finally got the empty netter. So for the Swiss, they have played well in this tournament despite being 0-3. And this is certainly a pride game for them. They want to finish their tournament off on a solid note.
No question about it. A win by Team Switzerland will put them in a tie. There will be a 3-way tie for 3rd between the Swiss, the Germans, and the Slovakians. A win by Slovakia means they will finish in 3rd place all by themselves, and that's what they would like. They would like to erase the stain of the last 2 games. One-sided losses to both their arch rivals, Czechia and the U.S. The Swiss coming off an off day, they are ready to go.
Yeah, the Swiss are certainly ready to go, and like you said, Slovakia, they want to erase the last couple of days. It was 3-1 against the Czechs going into the 3rd period. The Czechs are able to score 4 goals in that 3rd period, and yesterday it was all USA all game long. 25 seconds in, Andrew De La Sala was able to get a deflection in, and it was 5-1 after the first period. So Slovakia had a tough one yesterday. They're going to be without one of their top players in Theo Kiss, who was injured a couple of days ago.
And that will certainly hurt. They missed him yesterday, to say the very least. David Pohanka will get the start again in goal. He had a rough night last night, but it wasn't his fault. And he will look to redeem himself a bit. And in the Swiss net, it looks like Christian Kirsch will get the start.
And Kirsch was a guy that we saw play against Team USA. And he is a big, solid goaltender. Pohanka, the last couple of games, yesterday against the U.S. was a little rough. And you look at him giving up 7 goals against the Czechs. Well, he faced 50-plus shots in that game and still made a number of really solid saves.
No question about it. He, despite giving up all those goals, he played well. His team has just been outmanned in those 2 games, and we are underway. Team Slovakia in the blue jerseys with the red trim, and they'll bring the puck into the Swiss zone. And certainly for Switzerland, the results haven't been there. The quality of play has been. So we'll see what comes out of this here. Bassan gets it over to the right circle. A shot by Robin Nico Antonin, kicked out by Pohanka, and the puck is forced out of the zone, and the Swiss need to regroup.
Yeah, Swiss able to force a turnover there.
Daniel Ustenkopf slides it ahead for Worley. Worley takes a bump behind the net. Forget slides it back behind the goal. Bruno Baiza flips a pass over to the right side. Kicked up the boards, but not out. Reber keeps it in, gets it over to the right side. Meyer with a long shot. And Slovakia is able to get it down ice. Daniel Ustenkopf, one of 3 players on this Swiss team that hold dual citizenship. Long feed ahead to center ice. Ponzetto couldn't handle that pass. And we're going to get an offside call here against Team Switzerland.
Well, certainly each of these teams is going to want to dominate the first 5 minutes and try to get the pace the way that they to play. The last couple of games for Slovakia, it's been the Czechs and it's been the U.S. that have dictated the pace of play. So they want to get going and get things going on their own terms.
The Swiss keep it in at the blue line. Lee Richard. Now here's a chance for Saladin. His shot is blocked. He'll get it again. Feeds it right through the slot. It'll go off a Slovakian stick, and Mikulic will get it out to center ice. The Swiss will bring it right back in. Here's Rieger with a shot. That is blocked. Geiger with the shot, I should say. That's stopped by Pohanka. Long shot from 45 feet by Joel Kurt, steered aside. And the play at center ice. Here's Charlie Toole in across the line. Toole spins a pass into the left wing corner. Tarcini. Tarcini, the only player on this Swiss team who, in the white jerseys, who doesn't have his nameplate on the back. He's got his nameplate on the red jerseys, but not on the white jersey.
Well, and one thing that always continues, maybe not to surprise me, but I always have to remind myself, is with these European teams, there is stuff all over the jerseys. No matter where you go in Europe, whether it's a pro team, a national team, they have advertisements all over. So in Slovakia, you see a lot of Skoda, that's a car company out there. You see Post Finance on the back of the Swiss jerseys. There's a lot going on.
No question about it. And at center ice, Masson fans on his attempt to dump it into the Slovakian zone. Bruno Bajza. And now it's Pitka. Thomas Pitka's played a good tournament for Slovakia. And here come the Swiss. Wehrle will dump it into the Slovakia zone. Picked up by Bruno Bajza. Bajza, left-hand shot defenseman, nice size. Feeds it ahead, but missed the mark on his pass, but it was touched by Zalishak, and that wipes out the icing. And now here comes Team Switzerland. Antonin. Antonin cuts down the left side. Antonin, the leading goal scorer for Switzerland. Maybe their most dynamic offensive player in the tournament so far. And here's Reber. Reber clangs it off the end board. It'll be shoveled over to Mugli. His shot steered aside, and now Forget centers. That pass is broken up. And Lichko sends it ahead to Saxa. Saxa slides it down to the Swiss line. Mikulic steps into the slot. His shot deflects wide of the net.
And he had a trailer coming in. I think that he probably should have passed that puck on a little mini 3-on-2.
We just played over 4 minutes of this first period. No score yet. The Swiss with 6 shots on goal.
Slovakia still looking for their first shot on goal.
And here comes Switzerland. Barely onside, just getting back to the blue line was Villard. And that was a good read on the play by the linesman. Now Villard feeds it into the high slot. It's going to be pushed over to the near boards by Meyer. Meyer sends it into the corner. Villard takes it, cross ice pass. Now it's fed right out in front. Oh, a great chance for Lenny Geiger. He could have done 2 things with the puck, and he did neither one of them. The third thing he did was the wrong thing.
Yeah, Geiger, I don't think he expected Pohanka to be out of the net and was going to try to get past him sliding. Well, Pohanka didn't slide, so all he had to do was tap it into the back of the net. So unfortunate for the Swiss, and Slovakia is thanking their lucky stars that he didn't do it.
Geiger could have put it in on the forehand. He could have put it in on the backhand, and instead he put it into the corner. But that's what you get with a 16-year-old player sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you think that you're doing the right thing, and the puck finds your stick maybe when you're not expecting it, and an easy tap-in goal goes by the wayside.
14:28 to play in a scoreless first period. This game 9 of the 10-game tournament. And the puck rolls out to center ice. Played over to the near boards by Lichko. And here's Marcus Saxa. He'll play it in behind the goal. Lichko over on the left side, mobile defenseman. Gets it over to Harvanek. Harvanek sweeps it around the boards. It skips past Lichko. Saxa flips it behind the Swiss net. Leon Mugli takes it there. Mugli, his pass picked off, and it's pushed down the near boards, but not very far. And here comes Antonin. Antonin gets it ahead to Basson. Basson along the left wing boards, hits the trailer. Ustenkov cutting in, gets it across the mouth, and Pohanka with a huge save, and another great opportunity for the Swiss. Ustenov could have shot the puck. Probably that would have been the better opportunity, but Ustenkov passed it instead, and Slovakia dodges a bullet.
Well, David Pohanka, he hasn't had to make a ton of routine saves. He's been diving all over the ice the last few days, and he continues to make those great saves. I'm sure he'd be dying for a couple of normal saves.
Ponzetto broke up a pass, gave chase to the puck into the Slovakia zone. Couldn't catch up to it cleanly. Maybe in a year or two he'd have a little more speed, a little more strength, and could have caught up to that puck. But right now it's center ice. Meyer dumps it into the Slovakia zone. We've played just over 7 minutes of the first period. No score in the game. The Swiss have had the better of the play, but nothing to show for it as yet. Puck pushed deep into the Switzerland zone. Centering pass broken up. It's going to be flipped toward the net by Mitro. Goes off the leg well wide of the goal, and it's lifted out to center ice. Sebastian Mitro carries across the Swiss line. Wrist shot goes well wide of the goal. Bruno Baiza. And now a pass broken up, and here's a chance for Switzerland. Geiger comes in. Oh, his shot stopped by Pohanka. Another big save for the Slovakian netminder.
Hey, Geiger is going to go into the locker room at intermission hanging his head just a little bit because he's had two really good opportunities. That one was a tough one.
Now here's a giveaway, and a shot from close range sails over the net off the stick of Prokopovich. And here is a shot that comes in on Kirsch, and he dives out and grabs that puck, and he'll hold on to it with 11:44 to play in the period. Let's take a look at David Pohanka in his work in the Slovakia goal.
Well, Geiger comes down, and then he tries to slide it 5-hole when that stick opens up, but Pohanka did a good job of keeping his stick, blocking the 5-hole, and poking it away. So good effort on the shot, but a better save.
And David Bassan for Switzerland pokes it to center ice, and now the Swiss will send it down to the Slovakia line. Ustenkov swings it over to the near boards, and it's going to be pushed ahead by Antonin, but he doesn't get it deep into the zone, and Harvanek gets it ahead and into the Switzerland end of the ice. It'll be rolled out to center. Antonin will pick it up in his own zone. Antonin, the leading goal scorer for Switzerland. He has 4 goals in the tournament. And here comes Team Slovakia. Zaleshek. Shot comes right in on Kirsch, and he makes the stop and covers up on the rebound.
That was a good save by Kirsch. He was going from his left to right. We'll take a look at that really good save. So cutting across is Slovakia, kicks it up to his stick, and it wasn't a dangerous shot in terms of velocity, but the way that he came across the body made it a difficult save for Kirsch with the left pad.
Zaleshak with another shot right there that Kirsch was able to kick out. And on the previous play, Kirsch was leaning to his right and the shot went to his left, so he had to stretch out just a little bit with that left leg. Ponzetto for Switzerland slides it into the right corner. Lenny Geiger trying to keep the play alive, and it slides back to the line. Mugli will play it into the left corner. Geiger gives it to Mugli. Mugli in the right circle. It's knocked off his stick. And here comes Slovakia on the attack. All by himself, it's Zaleshak. It's knocked off his stick. And the Swiss take over. Cleared to center ice. Sebastian Mitro, his dump in attempt goes off a leg, and the puck will roll all the way back into the Slovakia zone.
Slovakia has been their own worst enemy a couple of times in terms of dumping the puck. They've hit their own player twice. One of them led to that Geiger breakaway.
Here is Saxa. Takes a big hit after he crossed the line. Ustenkov put a nice clean hit on Saxa, who almost tumbled into the Swiss bench. Mitro plays it around the boards for Slovakia, and here comes Team Slovakia on the attack. Prokopovic sends it deep into the Swiss zone. Ustenkov, who's been a pretty impressive defenseman for Team Switzerland at both ends of the ice in this tournament.
Yeah, I've liked his poise with the puck and the way that he's able to move that puck.
Play in behind the Switzerland goal. John Meyer rolls it down to the Slovakian blue line. Quickly played ahead, and now Team Slovakia on the attack. Sverchek has it taken away from him. And the Swiss in transition now. Antonin down the right side. He had Wehrle cutting toward the net. Couldn't get the pass through. Tough to make that backhand pass. But it's kept alive by Team Switzerland, but only for a moment. Fabush gets it up to the line, but not out. And he gets some help, and Switzerland needs to regroup. Shots are now 9-8.
Yeah, the Swiss had a 6-0 advantage in shots for a while, but Slovakia has picked things up and started to get more pucks toward Christian Kirsch.
Fabush plays it into the far corner. Forget is there. Forget tried to pin it along the boards, but it's kicked free. And Fabush will roll it back down to the Switzerland blue line. Reber gets it to Meyer. Meyer sends it to the slot. And it's picked off by Slovakia, and they'll bring it back the other way. Saxa across the line, but an offside call against Team Slovakia with 7:18 to play in the period. Just kind of comparing the countries here in terms of size and the hockey culture within those these two countries. Switzerland has 8.4 million people, 5.4 million in Slovakia. Hockey players in Switzerland over 30,000. But what's interesting, they have a much younger hockey playing population. Almost 19,000 of those 30,000 are considered junior players, whereas in Slovakia only 10,000, just shy of 11,000 registered hockey players. 8,800 of them are junior players. But when you look at success at the National Hockey League level, both countries have had some pretty impressive players. Roman Josi for Switzerland, Nino Niederreiter, and Jonas Hiller in goal, guy that played for quite some time. On the other side, Slovakia, Zdeno Chara, who I think will play till he's about 90 years old. He's still playing at 24. Tomas Tatar, 10-year veteran, and Yaroslav Halak, maybe the best goaltender to come out of Slovakia to play in the National Hockey League.
And for Switzerland as well, you have Nico Hischier, the captain of the New Jersey Devils. And both of these countries, you start to see them more on the international level, starting to play a lot more competitive games. The Slovakian Olympic team upset Team USA in Beijing and ended up with the bronze medal. Of course, you have Juraj Slafkovský and Simon Nemec, the top 2 picks in the NHL draft. So it just goes to show the emphasis that Slovakia is putting on younger players.
Now here's Saxa coming down the right side. His shot is blocked off the stick of Meyer. And it's tapped down into the Slovakia zone. Bruno Bajza plays it around the boards, and now it's pushed ahead to center ice, a little too far for Ferranis. And here comes make that Toole. Charlie Toole down the left side. He'll circle behind the net, comes out on the far boards. Taps it back to the blue line, kept in there, but not for long, and Slovakia gets it out to center ice. But it's taken back, and now Catan gets it into the slot. It's poked in deep. Tarchini can't get to it. Ennis slides it ahead for Tomashesh, and he will dump it into the zone. 6 minutes to play in a scoreless first period. These teams playing for pride. They're playing for 3rd place in the tournament standings. A Swiss victory would put them in a 3-way tie for first. And cutting down the right side was Worley, and his shot stopped by Pohanka, and that was an easy save for Pohanka because he had cut the angle down a bit, and Worley didn't really have anywhere to go with the puck except put it right into his body.
Yeah, exactly. Got out toward the edge of that blue crease. Pohanka has had a pretty good few games. There's a couple of young fans here to watch some afternoon hockey.
There are more Swiss flags in the building today than I had seen previously in the tournament. There are 3 of them across the way, kind of hidden by the big scoreboard at center ice from our location. Now here come the Swiss. Here's a long shot by Hassan that's gobbled up.
Well, this was another good save from Pohanka, again getting out at the top of his crease. A nice little play, good pass over, and then at the top of the circle he fires the shot right into the chest of Pohanka, and Pohanka makes sure that he doesn't drop that for a rebound opportunity.
Face off to Pohanka's left, and off the draw here's a blast by Meyer that's eaten up by Pohanka.
That was deflected a little bit unnecessarily, or unintentionally rather, by Sebastian Mitro. So he went and tapped Pohanka on the head, said, hey, sorry about that. I made it a little bit harder than you probably wanted.
Slovakia gets it out of their own end down to the Swiss blue line, but Ponzetto carries it back to center ice. He loses the handle on the puck there, and it will be played right back into the Switzerland zone. Under 5 minutes to play in the first period. Neither team with a goal. And working his way across the line is Reber. Jamiro Reber kept in at the blue line by Moser. He'll wheel it hard around the boards. It comes over to the near side. Richard poked it back into the corner. No help there, and Sverchek gets things started, but the Swiss keep it in the zone. The Swiss forecheck has been pretty solid. Here is Villard with a chance. Coming down his off wing from deep in the left circle, but Pohanka is there to make another stop. Saladin will get it into the corner. Geiger tried to put it out in front. Pass was broken up. Now Moser, big lanky defenseman over on the right side, keeps it in the zone. Saladin comes out of the right corner. Spins it back in the corner, gets a return pass, but it comes off his stick, and that'll give Slovakia a chance to break out. Puck is bounced into the Swiss zone. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the first period. Loose puck at the red line, and Tomashesh tried to play it into the Swiss zone, but couldn't. Here comes Switzerland again on the attack. Boogly in the far corner. The puck comes back to the line. Joel Kurt swings it around the boards. Comes over to Tarchini from a steep angle. His shot goes wide of the net. Kurt sends it toward the goal. It goes off his stick into the left wing corner. Toole takes a hit along the near boards, and here comes Slovakia on the attack. Zaleshak will dump it into the Switzerland zone. Less than 3 remaining in the period. A well-played period for both teams. Nifty little move there by Bassan. He'll skate behind the net with the puck. He'll keep control at least for a moment, but he's separated from the puck. He chases after it, can't get to it, and Branislav Barger will get it over to the far side. Kept in at the line by Meyer. Meyer for Switzerland plays it into the slot. Pass broken up. Meyer gets it back. His wrist shot, knocked down, rebound loose. Backhand shot in the goal. Bassan picks up the loose change, and he puts Switzerland on the board with 2:17 remaining in the first period.
Now Bassan started this whole shift for the Swiss, coming in on his offhand, making a nice little move right inside the blue line. And then he just hangs out in the slot. That's where you're going to collect those rebounds for the goal. And then he doesn't panic at all. Moves it to his backhand, knows he has a little bit of time, and makes no mistake about it, and puts it in the back of the net.
David Bassan with the goal for Team Switzerland. And it's 1-0, a late goal in the first period. And finally, the Swiss get on the board. They have had the better scoring chances in the period. And they easily could have 2, 3, maybe even 4 goals based on the quality chances they've had.
Time for the goal, 17:43.
Here comes Switzerland back on the attack. Reber comes off the left wing board, steps into the slot, lost the handle on the puck, kept in at the line by Ustenkov. His shot deflects over the goal. Ponzetto tried to leave it behind the net for Reber. Reber was tied up. And Mitro can't do anything with it for Slovakia. Kept alive by the Swiss. Here's Moser. Gets it back to Ustenkov. Long shot, gloved by Pohanka, and he will hold on with 1:24 to play in the period.
Well, what you got to watch right now is for the Swiss try to get another goal. In the last couple of games for Slovakia, goals have come in bunches against them. In the third period, the last 10 minutes, the Czechs scored 4 goals, and then yesterday against the U.S., it was in about a 2-minute span that the U.S. scored 4 goals.
Here come the Swiss again on the attack. Domenicelli, whose dad played 8 seasons in the National Hockey League. Plays it back to the point. It's sent back into the left corner. Saladin. He's tied up. Geiger trying to work it free. Geiger had a couple of great chances earlier in the period. Centering pass picked off. And it's carried ahead by Zaleshak. And it will be played into the Swiss zone. 45 seconds remaining in the first period. Switzerland with a 1-0 lead. Here's Geiger. Knocked off his stick, and Slovakia pushes it up ice. Here's Mikulic. Long shot kicked out by Kirsch. And here's a steal. Late chance for Slovakia. Prokopovic with a shot that's stopped by Kirsch, and he will hold on to it, holds it against his shoulder, and we'll get a face-off with 15.6 seconds remaining in the period.
Yeah, that was a bad turnover for the Swiss, especially late in the period. You don't want to be turning it over in your defensive end to give Slovakia an opportunity.
Off the face-off, the Swiss send it the length of the ice, not far enough for icing. And Richard will take it back at his own blue line, gives it away, and stepping into the zone, letting a shot go for Slovakia was Mikulic, and Richard gets away with one there because that was a terrible pass. And I'm sure he'll hear about it from Patrick Schub and his staff. But for Team Switzerland, a solid first period of play. They had the better chances. They had 17 shots on goal, and they've got the lead after 20 minutes.
Yeah, you always want to have the lead after 20 minutes, and it could be 2 or 3 goals if not for David Pohanka playing well again for Slovakia. But the Swiss, with some handshakes and high fives heading back into the locker room, they'll get some rest before period number 2.
No question about that. So Switzerland leads it by a 1-0 score after 1 period of play. Before this tournament started, I had a chance to speak with the head coach of Team Switzerland, Patrick Schub, about his team and their thoughts and feelings on being here in Colorado Springs, Colorado for this great Five Nations tournament presented by Athletics. Let's listen to Patrick Schub, the head coach of Team Switzerland. Patrick, welcome to Colorado Springs, Colorado College in the Under-17 Five Nations tournament. I met your staff and the team are very excited to be here.
Absolutely. No, it's an honor to be here, to be invited at that Five Nations tournament, and we really like, we're waiting for tomorrow that the tournament starts. Yeah.
Your team, more than any other, used to the mountains, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. We had actually a camp in Davos, Switzerland, maybe you know. Mm-hmm. It's also a little bit about like 1,500 meters above, so it's pretty similar, but another nice place to be here, yeah.
Tell us about how you formed your team, the formation of your team. How did you get to the 22 players that you brought here?
Yeah, actually we started with a U17 program last year. It was a little bit difficult also due to COVID, another season where some tournaments were cancelled. But basically it's the under-16 coaches who set up the team. We took it over for the under-17. They had now an off-ice camp in May, then performance test, and now we had 1 week of camp in Davos with 3 games against the Czech Republic. We scouted them the year before during the season. I was also coaching in the league under 17, so I know the guys from there too, yeah. And the other coaches helped me, of course, yeah.
I would guess that for at least some of your players, this might be their first ever trip here to the United States.
Yes, for sure, for most of the players. So we saw it also today in practice, different size of the rink, of the ice. You saw it in the breakouts, regroups, so they have to get used to it really fast, yeah.
What changes do you have to make because of the smaller ice surface?
Yeah, it's a little bit, we're used to have a little bit more space in the D zone behind the net, for example. If we do like D-to-D passes or so, we saw some guys having troubles getting into the boards really fast. So we have to play more straight line hockey as we were used to, yeah.
The game moves quicker on the smaller ice surface, so everything has to be kind of accelerated, right?
Exactly, yeah. That's what we tried to implement, but we saw some guys, we arrived yesterday late evening, but they have to get fast thoughts first, then fast executions, then precise executions, that our game will has to increase really fast, yeah.
This is a big tournament for young guys. So how do you keep them from maybe being too nervous, too uptight when they go out to play maybe their first game?
Yeah, nervous is part of the game, to be nervous, but I hope they're nervous because they're excited, not nervous anxiety. We don't want to play like passive, we want to play active, we want to create something. So I think they have to be on their toes and not on their heels when they're playing.
When you look at the other teams in this tournament, you know some of the teams a little bit. The U.S., of course, is the host team, and they've won this tournament more than anybody else. They are probably the team to beat. How does Switzerland have success in this tournament?
We have to play very disciplined. I think that's one of the key points. We have to bring the guys together, to play really together, to work together, to battle together, and to be to have respect of the opponents, but play active, as I said before, that we want to challenge them, we want to pressure them, we want to play tough too, so that we get a chance to win every game. That's our goal: win the battles and try to win the games. Yeah.
And certainly winning is important, but enjoying the experience, enjoying the moment, the opportunity is also important for these young men.
Exactly, it's one big part of the road they take now. Under 17 for us, it's a development year. Mm-hmm. Results are important, always important, but not that important. So our goal is really to develop the players, to give them the right feedback, the right tools to succeed in under 18, under 20, when it's really like in the big stage with scouting. As last week, the Linka Gretzky Cup, for example, in Red Deer. So we want to prepare them really for these big tournaments. And this tournament is a really important part of this road.
For your team, when you look at this tournament, are there any players that we should keep an eye on as broadcasters, that the guys that would lead your team during this tournament?
Yes, I would say from the back, I think we have good goaltending this year with Kirsch and William McNutt. This year we had to make a tough selection there. These two guys brought us in here. And from the back, it's Daniel Ustinkov, I would say. He's a very active defenseman, good handling the puck. Leon Mukli too. And up front we have, for example, David Bosso, who's a really big power forward. I think he can also make a difference.
1-0 lead over Slovakia after one period here at the Ed Robson Arena. The U17 tournament presented by Athletics. I'm Ken Landau. He's Kyle Houston. And Kyle, a really solid first period from Team Switzerland. They had many scoring opportunities in that first period. It could easily be a 3 or 4-0 game right now.
Yeah, they had the first 6 shots on goal in the game, and there was a couple of opportunities for Geiger there where he came across the top of the circle and missed, but then Bosan was able to get that goal for Team Switzerland. David Bohanka had a really good period. He made a couple of throwing saves just like that, and he really kept it a 1-0 game for Slovakia. There was one of those chances from Geiger.
But the Swiss had about 4 or 5 really good chances, and then finally David Bosan found the back of the net.
Yeah, he was hanging out right above the goalkeeper, and a shot went in. It bounced right off of Bohanka, and then he was very patient with it. But then at the end, Swiss got a little sloppy with their turnovers. You don't want to see that with less than 30 seconds to go in the period. But on the other side, in net, Christian Kirsch stood tall. And there is a look at a Swiss flag. Some good Swiss contingents here.
No question about it. Let's take a look at the stats for the period. Swiss with a decided edge in shots, 17-11 in the period. It was the cleanest period played in the tournament so far in terms of penalties. No penalties called, and really nothing that even looked like a penalty in that first period.
No, a lot of good, clean hockey. There was a couple of good, clean hits. The stick work, you know, you kept their sticks on the ice, and the Swiss were causing turnovers on their forecheck because of that. They weren't whacking, they weren't leaving the sticks up in the air by the body, so that certainly helped them a lot. And I thought it was a pretty good back and forth period. Slovakia had some good chances, but the Swiss overall played a better period, and I'm eager to see how each team comes out in the second.
No question about it. I would think, Kyle, that the Swiss want to try to keep the pressure on, keep the pace high, because this is Slovakia's 4th game in a row. Switzerland had yesterday off, so they have fresh legs. And even though they are 16-year-old kids, 4 games in a row is something they're not used to participating in. So there might be a fatigue factor as this game progresses.
Absolutely. I think that you probably will see Slovakia get a little bit fatigued toward the end, although when you realize it is your last game, there's that thing in your mind that says that you need to give full effort the whole time, and maybe your body overcomes, or your mind overcomes the body a little bit. But if you're the Swiss, you know that you had a couple more chances to make it a 2-3 goal game, and you don't want to grip the sticks too tight. I think they want to continue to play the way that they were playing, because they had a good first period.
Well, it's the old mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. And if you don't mind this being your 4th game in a row and the last one in this tournament, it doesn't matter if you're feeling a little tired. You just keep fighting through it all.
Yeah, and Slovakia, they'll want to get on the attack earlier on in this second period. As we mentioned, the Swiss had the first 6 shots on goal before Slovakia was able to get their shot on goal.
And we are underway. The Swiss in the white jerseys and white socks with the black pants, red trim. Slovakia in the blue. And here's a chance for Sverchek. Sverchek, nice feed out in front, and the puck comes off the end of the stick of Tomaszek. Otherwise, he would have had a really nice scoring opportunity.
That's one of those situations that Slovakia wished Tomaszek was a left-handed shot, because he would have been able to contain that puck a little bit better. But a good look across, and Slovakia, I think that's a better start and a good start that they were hoping for. A little instruction toward Tomaszek there.
Slovakia controls the face-off. Wyszynski sends it deep into the Swiss zone. Ustenkov gives it away. And Zaleshak over on the far boards. Zaleshak has it taken off his stick, and it's slid out to center ice. Harvanek dumps it right back into the Switzerland zone. Ustenkopf will send it ahead, and it's center ice. It slides past Jordan Forget, and the puck played into the Swiss zone, in the Slovakia zone. I know that yesterday Switzerland, they went and saw some of the sights in this area. They went to Garden of the Gods Park, which is one of the great parks anywhere in this country.
Yeah, whenever anybody comes to visit me in the Springs and they ask what we should do, I always say we got to drive through Garden of the Gods. Even if we don't spend a ton of time there, just driving past and seeing that amazing park.
Spectacular red sandstone rock formations, the likes of which you don't find anywhere else in this country. Minute and a half gone in this second period. Switzerland with a 1-0 lead. Germany, they went out to Seven Falls today. They've got the day off. They're not going to leave until Sunday, tomorrow, when most of these teams will have their bags packed and take that long flight across the Atlantic. Slovakia will bring it back into the Swiss zone. Mugli will play it around the boards, can't get it out. Kept in over on the right side by Mitro, but Mitro's pass broken up, and it's pushed ahead into the Swiss zone by into the Slovakian zone by Mugli. Puck pinned along the far boards. Just over 2 minutes into this second period. 1-0 Switzerland. Joel Kurt, long shot that's gobbled up by Pohanka, and he will hold on to it. Probably could have put that puck back in play, but it's never the wrong decision for a goalie to hold on to the puck.
No, when in doubt, just hold on to the puck. Give your guys a chance to either get a breather or get a change, depending on how long they've been out there. Then you just trust that your unit of 5 is going to do the right thing on the faceoff.
Zalashek gets it ahead. Centering pass from Lashinsky goes behind the net off a Swiss stick. Daniel Ustenkopf retreats behind his own goal. He'll get it over to Meyer. Meyer spins it up the near boards. Bassan, who has the lone goal in the game, gets it out of the zone right in front of the Slovakia bench. Meyer comes away with it. Ustenkopf ahead to Bassan. Bassan, but it's an offside play, as in ahead of the puck was Niels Worley. Patrick Schub making some changes right now, putting out 5 fresh skaters.
Very few shots so far in this second period. Each team is doing a good job of not letting the other enter the zone cleanly. You saw an example right there where as soon as it got past the blue line, it was deflected up into the netting.
1 shot per team in the period. The Swiss control the faceoff. Here's Meyer inside the line. Long wrist shot goes wide of the goal. And Saxa retreats back behind his own net. Small but quick forward. Marcus Saxa. And the puck's going to be played down into the Switzerland zone, where Sansonet gets it ahead to Forget. His pass broken up outside the blue line. And Bronislav Kral will send it into the Swiss zone. Centering pass from Ferranis is broken up, and now Reber chips it around the boards over to the far side, and Switzerland will take over. They'll send it down ice, and we're going to get an icing call here against Team Switzerland. Just over 4 minutes into the second period.
Now, this will be a good opportunity for Team Slovakia because you can't change on an icing, so they can win the draw, get some sustained offensive pressure. And I understand what Svercek was trying to do there, catch him off guard a little bit, but I think recognizing right after an icing that you have a tired group on the other side, I would have tried to win that puck back and really do what you're doing right now.
Mitro with it from the right point that's blocked. Kept in the zone, however, by Slovakia. Joel Kurt overskates the puck, gathers it back in behind his own goal. Gets it over to Leon Mugli. Mugli sends it ahead out to center ice. Bruno Baiza sends it back to Mitro. Mitro's played solidly in this tournament back on the blue line for Slovakia. Villard will play it around the boards in the Slovakian zone. It's going to be played off the glass, and it will roll all the way back into the Swiss zone. Bodies collide in the far corner. It has been a relatively non-physical game to this point.
The pucks just bounce out a little bit for Team Slovakia. Can't seem to really get things clean.
Here comes Switzerland on the attack. Here's Toole cutting down the right side, is off wing, cut toward the net. Didn't have any room to really shoot the puck, and he put it right into the glove of David Pohanka.
Yeah, Pohanka did a good job of holding his post and not getting too eager to move from left to right. Sometimes you can maybe anticipate them going around the net as opposed to taking that shot on the short side and leave yourself vulnerable. He did not, and it bounced right up into his glove.
The Swiss need to regroup now. Ustenkov retreats back in his own zone. Passes it ahead. Pass broken up. Now it's kicked out to center ice, and here come the Swiss on the attack. Here's a long shot by Ustenkov that's gloved by Pohanka. Pohanka had some pretty impressive numbers last season with his club team, Slovan Bratislava. Played 24 games, had a 2.22 goals against average, save percentage of .929 with 2 shutouts. In 24 games, those are pretty impressive numbers for what was a 15-year-old last year.
Yeah, and then you see him making a couple of really good saves in this game. That was a good glove save on a little odd man rush for the Swiss.
Swiss trying to get something going here. Still no penalties in the game. Of course, now that I've said that, we'll get about a rash of about 7 minor penalties in a row. Just over 6 minutes into the second period. From the left circle, Antonin with a shot that sails wide. Richard trying to put it through a maze of players out in front. Couldn't get that shot through. Now Antonin hustles after it, puts it in behind the Swiss net, or the Slovakian net.
Bossong got a little overzealous in calling for that puck, banging a stick on the ice because he was not open. Didn't realize that there was a Slovakian defenseman right behind him.
Battle for the puck deep in the Swiss zone. 5 players over there trying to work it free. And the officials tell the players to keep that puck moving. They don't want to blow a whistle with the puck pinned along the boards. And they'll wait 15, 20, 30 seconds before that puck, until that puck is moved out of the little scrum along the wall.
Yeah, the only time really that they'll blow it kind of right away is if a player is laying down on the ice and can't physically get up. Good save by Pohanka.
Nice shot from the left circle by Mugli. And we'll get another good look at it here.
Oh yeah, just Mugli coming down the left side and makes a little move at the top of the circle to get it to his forehand.
Here's a chance for Switzerland. A shot goes off the outside of the right post, off the stick of Joel Kurt. And before Kurt had that shot, another even better scoring opportunity with the puck a little closer to the net. But nobody in a white Swiss jersey could get to the loose puck in the slot. And Slovakia able to get the puck down the ice and take the heat out of a hot kitchen. And Zalishak, a shot right in on Kirsch. 3 shots in the period for Slovakia, 4 for Switzerland. And well, Lichko says, I can hit the post too.
I think both have been the left post too, so they've got to hit the right post and the crossbar, and they'll complete the trifecta.
The full set.
Yep.
Here comes Slovakia on the attack. Nice pass cross ice, and reading the play perfectly was Kirsch.
Great pass across, and Pitka, the big right shot forward, was winding up for that shot, and also tried to go far side, tried to go glove side, which is a difficult save coming across for a goaltender because your momentum is moving from left to right, and then you have to reach back for that save.
Now Slovakia forcing a turnover. Shot is blocked, and now here comes Bassan. He's got a man with him. He gets the pass out in front. Backhand shot. Oh, what a great save by Pohanka as he stops Neil Wehrle on the 2-on-1. Wehrle showing great speed, cutting up ice down the left side to join the play, and then Pohanka stayed with him.
You know, the Swiss, they're going to have to go to the blocker side here pretty soon because that glove hand for David Pohanka is hot. A couple of times when he has had to slide across, it's gone right into his glove.
Off the face-off, a wrist shot by Kurt goes wide of the net, and the rebound comes out to center ice. Jamiro Reber plays it into the Slovakia zone. And it's chipped off the boards down to the Switzerland blue line. Here comes Forget. Forget drops it back to the blue line. Return pass. Forget has his pass broken up. And it's muscled out to center ice by Baiza and then dumped into the Switzerland zone. We've played 9 minutes of this second period. It's still a 1-0 game. And here's a chance cutting toward the net by Villard. But his attempt goes wide. Play behind the Slovakian goal. Pass comes over to Ponzetto, but he couldn't do anything with it. And here comes Slovakia back the other way. Shot from a steep angle on the left side is blocked. So Leshinsky taking that shot. And now here comes Slovakia again on the attack. Nice defensive play there by Meyer to angle the man off the puck. He had a bigger body and was able to angle Leshinsky off the play. Halfway through the second period, which means we're halfway through the game. 30 minutes into the books here. And Switzerland with a 1-0 lead, looking for more as they had the puck in the slot near the goal mouth, but couldn't get a shot off. And here come the Swiss again. Catan plays it up to the line, but it's knocked away from him, Moser. And now the pass off Tarchini's stick goes deep into the Slovakian zone. And a nice play by Sansonens to break up a pass. He'll send it back to his defensive teammate, Joel Kurt. Kurt sends it over to the left side, and the puck's going to be dumped into the Slovakian end. 9 minutes to play in the second period. Switzerland trying to get something set up. Dominicelli Plays it in behind the Slovakia net. Puck pinned along the boards, worked free by Bassan. Bassan has the lone goal in the game for Switzerland. Now Worley, who had a great chance a few moments ago. He'll get it into the right corner. Antonin sends it out front. Comes back to the line. Long shot. Redirected by Bassan just wide of the net. And the rebound is cleared down the ice. And they will call icing. And the faceoff comes back into the Slovakia zone. And I think, Kyle, what we're seeing here is a little bit of fatigue on the part of the Slovakian team as you see the players bent over at the waist, stick on their thighs. They might be a little tired here.
Yeah, and they're certainly not hustling back to the faceoff dot. The linesmen want them to come quickly. That's why they blew the whistle. But yeah, the Swiss have had some good sustained offensive pressure the last couple of minutes, and Slovakia has looked a little bit tired.
The Swiss win the draw in the Slovakia zone. Here is Reber getting it over to the left side. Meyer tried to feed it into the slot. It's picked off and carried up ice and sent down into the Switzerland zone. Here come the Swiss on the attack. Ponzetto dumps it in and chases it down himself. Ponzetto flips it back to the line. Ustenkov, his pass came across the line. Pushed back in by Meyer, and the ice crew will come out now to shovel up some snow that's gathered in the goal mouth area and in front of the benches.
24 shots for the Swiss, 15 for Slovakia. The Swiss have had the advantage in offensive zone time as well in this period. I think certainly the fatigue is starting to set in for Slovakia. They played obviously 3 games in a row, but back-to-back games really where they have been dominated in terms of time of possession, offensive zone time. So it's tough to play those back-to-back-to-back games when the other team has been kind of dominating you. For the Swiss, they want to keep on pressuring. They want to get some bodies in front of the net, and you got to remember too, it's only a 1-0 game. So even though the Swiss have been playing better in this period, for Slovakia, it could just be one bounce, one turnover that could tie the game and maybe give them a newfound energy.
No question about it. Games can turn on a dime or on a Swiss franc for that matter. And the puck is tipped deep into the Switzerland zone. Lashinsky goes after it. He's tied up. Battle for the puck along the near boards. Bruno Baiza trying to get control. He can't, and the Swiss will send it down the ice. No icing. Now the puck given away. Saladin played right out in front. And it's grabbed by Prokopovich, taken away from him. The Swiss are playing with more jump right now. They have better legs. They have more jump in their game right now than the Slovakians do.
Absolutely, and they want to extend this lead before the end of the second period, give themselves a little bit of breathing room heading into the third. And remember, the Swiss are still looking for their first win of the tournament. So they've played well. They've just run into a U.S. team, a Czech team that will play for the title, and then a German team that was desperately trying to get their first win.
Mugli carries deep, hands it off to Robin-Nico Antonin. Antonin had the puck taken away from him, played ahead, and then tipped right in on Kirsch, but he makes the stop, and now here's Switzerland catching Slovakia in a line change, but Antonin had it knocked off his stick, and Branislav Barger with maybe the defensive play of the game to this point for Team Slovakia.
A little bit of a desperation play from Barger, although there was no panic. He comes off on a line change and then has a really good stick.
And what made that play so important is Antonin's their best goal scorer, and here Antonin has another great chance, and he's stopped by Pohanka. That was Bassan that was stopped by Pohanka.
Yeah, the goal scorer in the first period, and a great pass out front. So he gets around his guy, Merrily does, and David Pohanka. I mean, what more can you say about the kid?
26 saves on 27 shots, and we still have better than 5 minutes to play in the second period. 1-0 game. And here's a giveaway. Pass picked off inside the line by Moser. Zalishak sends it over to the right side, and Lichko will dump it into the Switzerland zone. Zalishak skates it over to the right corner for Slovakia. Battle for the puck in the corner, and the Swiss win that battle, and they'll skate up ice with it. Forget across center ice and across the line. Forget's shot is blocked. Looked like the Swiss might have been offside.
That was close.
Under 4.5 to play in the period. Now Forget gets into the left circle. Big blast there, goes wide of the net. Comes back to the line. Kurt with a slap shot, blockered away by Pohanka. First man to the puck, Saladin. Saladin can do nothing with it, and it's cleared down to the Switzerland zone. Quickly, the Swiss are playing at the pace that they want to play at here. They want to keep the pace going because they sense Slovakia is fatigued.
Absolutely. I mean, if you get the Slovakian team skating a little bit more after the back-to-back games, it really benefits the Swiss. They did have that day off and the day of rest. The two teams that didn't get a day of rest were the Germans that played the first 4 games. Now playing the final 4 days.
Here comes Slovakia on the attack. Lichko. Now behind the net, it's Saxa. He's tied up. Meyer comes away with a puck, and he'll charge up ice. Meyer works his way across the blue line. Still has it. Pushes it into the left corner. It's swept around the boards, and Ustenkov try to get it over to Tarchini, but it goes off his stick, and Slovakia brings it back into the Swiss zone. Domenicelli gets it out to center ice. Approaching 3 minutes to play in the second period. 1-0 Switzerland. In what has been a penalty-free game to this point.
Very clean. For the most part, good pace. We like to see those clean games. I'm hoping for a clean, really good matchup tonight between the U.S. and the Czechs for the tournament title. I don't see it being anything other than a good matchup at 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
It'll be a good matchup. I think it's going to be a physical game. I think the Czechs have to play a physical game against Team USA to improve their chances of winning. Off the faceoff. Comes into the slot. Here's the shot. Oh, another great save by Pohanka. Oh, man. As he stops Worley again.
Worley, after he made that shot, he goes around the boards with his head up and just kind of putting his hand up like, what more do I have to do to get it past this goaltender?
2:47 left in the second. Antonin wins the draw. Here's a long shot by Moser that goes off a skate into the far corner. Bassan, who has the low, gets it to Antonin. Antonin had it knocked off his stick. He gets it back. Robin Nico Antonin out there. He's a force offensively for Switzerland. Even though he's been held off the score sheet today, he is their leading goal scorer. And here's a long pass intended for Lashinsky, but he could not catch up to the puck. And the pass from Worley goes out to center ice. And Bassan tips it down to the Slovakia line. Less than 2 minutes to play in the second period. Kirsch plays it around the boards, and now here comes Switzerland, and no penalty being called there as Ponzetto was upended at the Slovakia blue line. Now Ponzetto with a one-time shot. That's kicked out by Pohanka.
And now we are going to get our first penalty of the game.
Shot and a goal. Beautiful shot from the inner edge of the left circle by Reber, and it's 2-0 with 1:27 to play.
On the delayed penalty, the Swiss were able to maintain possession. Forget with a good backhand pass right to Hubert, who finally is a Swiss player that's able to beat Pohanka on the glove side.
And that's a huge goal for the Swiss with 1:27 to play in the period. Second period in a row in which the Swiss have scored late.
Yeah, finally the push helps the Swiss, and they get rewarded by it.
And the Swiss will put it back into the Slovakia zone. Forget and Kurt get the assists on the Reber goal, and now we're down to the final minute of the period. Puck comes back to the line. Kept in there by Saladin. Now here come the Swiss. Maybe time for another rush here. Bollard sends it back into the high slot. Ustenkov, his shot knocked down by the glove of Pohanka. Loose puck pushed out of the slot, and the Swiss keep it alive. Meyer to Ustenkov. Ustenkov's shot goes off a leg. It comes down in the right corner. Bollard to make that Geiger, his pass intercepted, and the Slovakians bring it up into the Swiss zone. Final 15 seconds of the period. Here come the Swiss on the attack. Poole gets it over to Meyer. Meyer takes a hit along the corner boards. Final 5 seconds as Kirsch slamming his stick on the ice to let his teammates know they're down to 5 seconds, but the time runs off the clock, and the Swiss had a late goal in this second period to take a 2-goal lead into the third, and it was a dominant period for the Swiss as they had 16 shots on goal in the period to just 5 for Slovakia.
Yeah, they kept pushing the pace of play, getting some good shots on Pohanka, didn't panic, and they were finally rewarded with a late goal, similar to how the first period ended.
So Jamiro Reber with the lone goal in the second period. That gives the Swiss a 2-0 lead, but David Pohanka has been outstanding in the Slovakia net, and that might be in part thanks to the coaching of his guest. The goaltender coach for Team Slovakia is Rostislav Stana, and I had a chance to talk to him about his team and their participation in this great tournament back before the play started. And here's that interview with Rostislav Stana. Welcome here to Colorado Springs and the Five Nations tournament. Long travel for a bunch of young guys. How did your young team handle all the excitement and the long travel and adjusting to being here in the U.S.?
Well, thank you. First of all, we are lucky to be here because last 2 years were tough for everyone, even for our guys. we were not able to play some good tournaments that we were looking forward to. So guys were really excited to come here and visit US, see a different world, and play great games against a great component.
I would imagine that most of your guys have never been here to the U.S., so this is a whole new experience for them in every imaginable way.
Well, of course, like you said, most of the guys it's the first time for them in US, so it's a great experience. And we came earlier, so we had some time to visit Denver yesterday after practice. So we visited Ball Arena, we visited Denver Broncos Stadium. So it was even that off the ice. It's great for them to have some good memories.
Just a short while ago, the top two players drafted in the NHL draft were from Slovakia. What does that mean for your young guys? I would imagine it gives them a lot of hope and dreams that, hey, one day maybe that's them being the #1 overall draft pick.
Yeah, that's for sure. It was the whole country was really excited about it. We had last 10 years, we had tough years. We were a little bit struggling. We were on our way down with hockey, but we picked up last 4 or 5 years. I think we started working a little harder, a little different, and it's showing it's working. So we were, like I said, we didn't expect it. We knew we have some guys that could go first round, but going first and going second for Slovakia, it was really great for us, and nobody expected that. And then it's great for hockey because, like you said, for these guys, they can see it is possible to make it from Slovakia, and plus for the kids, from the much younger kids, it is good to have someone to look to. So now Juraj and Šimon and Filip Mešar, who also went the first rounder, they are like big heroes for the kids growing up playing hockey. So we are really excited, and we hope this gonna help Slovakian hockey to improve again in next couple of years.
Rostislav, as the goalie coach, you know how important goaltending is in any type of situation, but especially in a short tournament where you have to get off to a good start if you want to win the tournament. How do you feel about your goalies coming into the Five Nations tournament?
Well, like I said, we try to work a little harder and change some things. So we are also working on goalies a little different. We're working first to have more goalie coaches, because nowadays goalie without a goalie coach is really hard to make it to pros. So we see that, and we try to make some goalies that didn't make it to pro, to make them goalie coaches. They like it, so we're really excited about that. And now it's showing the result. Like our goalies have more support from the coaches, and we don't have that many goalies, so we have to work with that what we have, and we need to work really hard to be able to be in a competition with the great countries.
You guys don't play the first day of this tournament, so you get to kind of sit back and scout the other teams. Do you look at that as an advantage moving forward through the tournament?
Well, you can say that, yeah. The first day you can scout, but then when you look all the other teams, they're going to have 1 day off between the games, and we're going to play 4 games in 4 days, so it's going to be really tough. But we prepared guys for that, and we know we have to be a little bit easier on a schedule. Maybe not as many pre-game skates on a game days, but it's going to be a great challenge for our guys, like especially that 3rd and 4th game. So we know we have to be simple on those games, but like I said, for guys, it's going to be a great experience.
What's the goal? What would make this a great event for Team Slovakia?
Well, like I said at the beginning, last couple of years were tough for guys because of the COVID. We had some great tournament canceled. And these guys, they didn't have that many international games under their belt. So every game for them, it's a learning process. So we're just hoping we're going to be better every game, game by game. And we try to go to every game that we have a chance to win. I think that's what the national team showed us, that's the way they want to play, show our country that we can beat anyone. So I think we're trying to teach these younger players also that we go to every game against any opponent, that there is a chance to beat them, and we hope we're going to win as many games as possible.
Welcome back inside the Ed Robeson Arena on the campus of Colorado College. The U17 Five Nations Tournament presented by Athletics. Ken Landau along with Kyle Houston. And Kyle, same verse, same as the first. Second period, just like the first period, the Swiss had the better scoring opportunities. It took until late in the period, but they were finally able to get a goal.
Yeah, they didn't panic. They were getting a lot of shots against David Pohanka, and then finally a nice little play, and they beat him on the glove side, which is something that nobody's really been able to do the last couple days. Pohanka has been great sprawling out using that glove hand, but the Swiss, they played another solid second period, and they were rewarded at the end.
No question about it. Let's take a look at the highlights from the second period of play here this afternoon. And the Swiss have had the better of the play. There's no question about it.
Yeah, there was a quick little play off a face-off for Slovakia, but there was some really good opportunities for the Swiss going in on Pohanka, and it led to some good chances. Here was one where there was a little hit at the blue line and an odd man rush, and then there's Pohanka with that beautiful glove save. This was another fantastic glove save. Wehrle is going to be seeing Pohanka in his nightmares tonight, and finally Reber was able to beat him off a great backhand pass and then just past the glove hand right from the top of the circle. So the Swiss, as we look at the stats here in the second period, you can see they really dominated play with those 16 shots compared to 5 for Slovakia.
Absolutely, and for the game, 33 shots for Team Switzerland, 16 for Team Slovakia. We mentioned it during that second period, especially the fatigue factor, and I think we're starting to see that. The Slovakian team looks not just a step slow right now, but maybe a step and a half slow as they are playing their fourth game in as many days.
Yeah, you know, 4 games in 4 days, that's tough to do at any level. So even though they're 16 years old, they can recover a little bit faster. I think that playing the back-to-back games is getting to them a little bit.
And the quick turnaround from playing the late game last night to playing the afternoon game here today.
Yeah, that's always a tough one when you get back to your hotel late. You've got to have a quick recovery and turn around and get ready to play a competitive game. And remember, the Swiss, regardless of their record, they were going to come out firing because they didn't want to go 0-4. They were 0-3 in some close games throughout the tournament.
The 3 losses for Team Switzerland, 2 of them by 1 goal, 1 by 2 goals, and that 2-goal deficit to Team USA, that included an empty net goal to kind of ice the game. So the Swiss have very much been in every game that they've played in this tournament, but their record does not show any results for that. But right now they're 20 minutes away, 19 minutes and 45 seconds away to be exact, from winning their first game of the tournament and forcing a 3-way tie for 3rd place.
Yeah, between Slovakia, Germany, and Switzerland, and the top 2 teams in the tournament, not only in record, but you can clearly see in terms of the skill set have been the U.S. and the Czechs, and they'll play for the title tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
Daniel Ustenkopf, the defenseman for Switzerland, carried deep into the zone, peeled back toward the blue line, but then his pass is broken up. And here comes Reber. Reber sends it back to the line. Meyer, long wrist shot, goes wide of the net. Richard fans on his attempt to keep it in the zone, and here comes Slovakia back the other way. Zaleshak stopped, and here comes Switzerland back into the attacking zone. Forget, his wrist shot. Stopped by the glove of Pohanka. Centering pass by Saladin, broken up. And it's kept in the zone by Richard over on the far side. Now Saladin, centering pass goes off the defender to the side of the net. Saladin trying to work it free, trying to take it away from Lichko, but couldn't do it. Lichko was strong on the puck. He's a physical player. Here's Salad, lost the handle on the puck at the Slovakia line, and it will be sent the length of the ice, and we'll get an icing call.
And that's unfortunate for Slovakia. They had the Swiss on a line change, and it's one of those weird plays as a forward where the defenseman is trying to bank a pass to you. You don't know, okay, do I turn to the left, do I turn to the right, because you're going towards the boards in a weird way, and got past them, and now they have to move the length of the ice.
Here is Marcus Saxa backhanding it in behind the Switzerland goal. Breaks up a pass. Puck's tossed out in front. Nobody there in a blue Slovakia jersey. Now Slovakia keeps it in the zone. Long shot stopped by Kirsch, and the puck goes behind the net.
Slovakia don't want to get some guys in front of the net and try to get those second chance opportunities off of some deflections.
Here's a pass intercepted, and the puck pushed ahead for Sverchek, but he can't do anything with it. It slides off his stick right into the glove of Christian Kirsch, and he will hold on to it.
And that has just seemed to be the problem with Slovakia today. Just a few times the puck has bounced off their stick and gone a little bit out of their reach. You saw on the icing that the pass was a little bit out of the reach. And so they just haven't been quite crisp today. And certainly I think fatigue has played a factor, but sometimes that's just the way the puck bounces.
No question about it. Or as a rather successful coach in the collegiate ranks once told me, sometimes the puck slides when it should roll, and sometimes it rolls when it should slide. And here's Worley coming down the right side. He'll push it in behind the Slovakia net. Worley's had about 3 great scoring chances in this game, but unable to find it into the net, and long shot by Meyer is gloved by Pohanka.
34 shots for the Swiss, and Pohanka keeps facing more and more shots as this tournament goes on, but that glove hand has been solid for the Slovakian goaltender.
Off the face-off, there's a one-time attempt by Richard that's blocked. The Swiss keep it in the attacking zone. Forget over on the right side. Forget lost the handle on the puck. He'll retrieve it at center ice, and he retreats back to his own blue line. Reber sends it ahead. Play in the Slovakia zone. Reber, one of the 2 goal getters in the game for Switzerland. David Bassan, the other. Both players that have scored. Here's a great scoring chance for Slovakia. Maybe their best scoring opportunity of the game. Marcus Saxa tipping it in on Christian Kirsch.
Yeah, a little pass to the outside, and then a sauce over and saved by Kirsch.
And the puck's rolled the length of the ice here. Icing call coming here against Team Switzerland.
Slovakia want to keep on doing that, keep getting a guy driving in that middle lane, get Kirsch to get a little bit uncomfortable there in the crease.
Face off to the right of Kirsch. It's won by Switzerland. They get it to the line but can't get it out. Saxa, who has been maybe the best offensive player in the game for Team Slovakia, he just had that great scoring chance, but he's been involved in the play quite a bit. Here comes a shot and a goal by Valashek from the left circle, and just like that, the complexion of this game changes because a 2-goal lead has now been cut in half. It's 2-1 after the goal from Mikhail Valashek.
So the puck turns over and goes left side, and Valashek was there. He looks up. Look at that. He looks up right before the top of the circle to see where Kirsch was playing. Looks down for a moment to settle the puck, and then his eyes were up the whole time. And so he had great vision toward the net, goes past the glove of Kirsch, and this is what we were talking about earlier. Switzerland has, for the most part, controlled the play. But when you don't capitalize on some of those goals and Pohanka has kept you in the game, all it takes is a turnover like that, a bouncing puck, a goal, and now Slovakia is going to play with a little bit more energy.
No question about it. Nothing gives you, when you're a tired team, nothing gives you energy. Nothing's a boost of energy like either a Red Bull or a goal to make it a one-goal game. And Team Slovakia puts it deep into the Swiss zone. Will be played back to the line, kept in by Harvanek. And here's a shot from between the circles by Zalashak. It's steered aside by Kirsch. And now the Swiss find themselves bottled up in their own zone a bit. And the puck comes right out in front, but knocked aside, and here comes Team Switzerland. Gatan with a long shot. That's knocked down by Pohanka, and he will hold on. 5 minutes and 9 seconds into the third period. It's a 2-1 game.
A couple nights ago, the Slovakians were playing the Czechs, and they scored on a power play. And then they started to play with more energy late in that second period, early in the third. That's what you're seeing here now. It's crazy how much a goal can energize what was once deflated team.
And what's interesting here is the tables have kind of been turned in terms of the script of the game. Switzerland has been outshot in its 3 previous games, and they've been the one that's had to come from behind and make things interesting. Now they're the team that has dominated play. They have the lead, but Slovakia has found a little bit of life here to make it interesting here as we're down to 14-15 to play in the third period. Shots are 36-22. But we'll see how the Swiss handle good fortune here down the stretch. They've been the one coming from behind in the third period throughout the tournament. And just like that, that's how you handle good fortune. You win a face-off, and Joel Kurt puts it through a screen and into the back of the net to put Switzerland back on top by 2.
The second time that the Swiss have done something like this off the draw. And Kurt was in a perfect position. He had a left-handed shot on the draw, and I think Slovakia just didn't quite know how to defend that. You need that inside forward on the defensive side to jump out there and get in front of that defenseman for the shot. So when we're talking about how is Switzerland going to respond, how are they going to handle being up by a goal, that was a great response right there.
Well, it starts with the face-off win, a clean face-off win by Reber. And Kurt was stationed exactly in the right spot. He didn't have to move. And with one quick flick of the wrist, boom, Switzerland back up by 2.
There's some young fans in the corner. They're trying to get inspired by some of these players. You never know who has been, who's going to be inspiring you, and those kids have been waiting all day to get on the big screen like that.
Nothing like seeing yourself on the big screen if you're a 6-year-old to get you jumping up and down like crazy. And when school starts in a week or so, they'll be telling their friends, hey, I was up on the big screen.
Yep.
Now here's a turnover, and bringing it into the attacking zone. Here's Geiger. Geiger with a wrist shot. Nicely played. He put it between the legs of the defenseman. But Pohanka, who has been outstanding in this game, saw it all the way and made the save. The injured Theo Kiss is upstairs here in the press box.
Yeah, he's been sitting on the edge of his seat, cheering on his team. Every time they get in the offensive zone, he wants to stand up.
And the Slovakians definitely miss his presence on the ice. And here comes Slovakia. They have numbers in transition, but they didn't realize the advantage they had as they approached the Switzerland blue line. They just dump the puck in, and that gives the Swiss a chance to get control and bring it back the other way. Mugler out hustles a man to the puck. His shot from close range stopped by Pohanka. Kept alive by Wehrle. Wehrle with a shot. Another beautiful glove save there by Pohanka.
And once again, it was against Wehrle. He had the breakaway that was backhanded saved. He had one on the back door, and then this time makes a really good play at the blue line to separate and give himself some space. And then able to fire the puck, and Pohanka with another good save.
Here comes Team Slovakia on the attack. Tomaszek along the far boards in the Switzerland zone. The puck's knocked off his stick. Kept in the zone, but only for a moment. And now Antonin works his way into the Slovakia zone. He'll cut behind the net. Antonin gives it over to Ustinkov. Ustinkov played it down the boards, but a stick got in the way of that. And now here comes Slovakia on the attack. Tomaszek fanned on the shot. Here's Basan, who scored the goal of the game. Long shot, stick saved by Pohanka. 11-11 to play in the third. 3-1 is our score. Switzerland over Slovakia in this, the 9th game of the tournament, the final game for both Slovakia and Switzerland. The Swiss looking for their first win. Slovakia looking for an opportunity to finish alone in third place in the tournament standings. Next year's event will be in Czechia, if they stick to the historical rotation of this event. The first event was held in Czechia, or the Czech Republic. The U.S. gets it in year 5, 10, and 15. It'll be 5 years before it comes back to the United States in 2027.
U.S. trying to go 3 for 3 on home soil.
And they have never lost a game on home soil. And tonight, Team USA and Czechia for the tournament title. We've passed the midway point of the third period. The Swiss with a goal in each period. Team Slovakia with a goal here in the third. That goal made it a one-goal game, and the Swiss responded. And a good response it was. 1 minute and 44 seconds after Slovakia made it a one-goal game, the Swiss came back and reestablished that 2-goal lead. Shots are now 42-22 in favor of Switzerland. And here comes Dominicelli in across the line. Long shot, that's grabbed by Pohanka, and he will hold on. You know, the Swiss team did a little shopping yesterday. They went out to an outlet mall so they could go and buy some stuff for mom and dad, or maybe get some clothes for school.
Yeah, whenever I went on an international trip, I make sure that I got some sort of souvenir, whether it was a Christmas ornament or I've been getting my niece a snow globe from each place. So it's cool to see some of the other countries and some of those kids hopefully getting some souvenirs to remember this time and We were talking about it a little bit last night, Ken, about how, you know, regardless of how the tournament shapes out for some of these teams, they're going to remember being able to represent their country potentially for the first time for the rest of their life. They're going to talk about it to their kids, to their grandkids, friends and family members. It's just such a special thing to wear your country's colors on your back.
No question about that. The face-off in the Slovakia zone to the left of David Pohanka. He has been great tonight. Tarcini wins the face-off. Moser, his shot is blocked. It'll bounce over to the near boards and gathered in by Ferranis, and he'll get it out to center ice. Tarcini picks it up and sends it back into his own zone for Sansonens. Mitro from inside his own blue line for Slovakia. Cross ice pass from Ferranis, and it goes over to Zalishak, who will dump it into the Switzerland zone. Slovakia needs to start generating some offense here. Down by 2, there's plenty of time left. The question is how much gas is left in the tank for Team Slovakia. The goal they scored at 4:04 from Zalishak, I'm sure, gave them some energy, but as quickly as you can get energized by a goal, if you give one up shortly thereafter, that energy can disappear in a hurry.
Yeah, it can feel a little bit deflating. But what I'd like to see from Slovakia is to fire pucks to the net when they get inside the Swiss zone.
Worley couldn't do much with the puck. It's cleared out to center ice. And Kurt, who just scored the 3rd goal of the game for Switzerland, flips it toward the Slovakia blue line. It's going to be cleared back into the Swiss zone. And here come the Swiss on the attack. Antonin in across the Slovakia line. He goes wide on the left side. Centering pass, nobody in the slot in a white Swiss jersey. And a clearing attempt goes out to center ice. Here come the Swiss again. Here is Ponzetto. Ponzetto back to the line. Ustenkov with a shot that goes wide of the net. Ponzetto on the right side. He'll try to play it out in front, but the pass broken up. And Ponzetto gets it back at his own blue line. He'll slide it into the Slovakia zone. Zalishak gets it over to the near boards. Forget keeps it in the zone for Switzerland. Forget can't do much with it. It's taken by Barger, and he will dump it into the Switzerland zone. Under 7 to play here in the 3rd. Switzerland 3, Slovakia 1. Bajza pushes it down the right wing boards. It's pinned along the wall. And the referee's saying, fellas, play the puck, and that's exactly what they do. They work the puck out of that little gathering, and it's kicked out to center ice. Now Lenny Geiger. Stick handling his way through center ice. He slips and falls and loses the puck, still without a penalty in the game. Penalty that's been called. There was a delayed penalty that was going to be called before Reber scored, and well, how about that? Finally, the referees are start to earn their money. We get our first penalty call of the game at 14:11 of this 3rd period.
And I don't subscribe, Ken, to the announcer's curse in any way, shape, or form, but if I did, that would be proof right there of the announcer's curse.
Of course.
I think you're allowed to say no-hitter during a no-hitter. You gotta tell people what's going on, because I think that if announcers had that much power, probably wouldn't be using it in that.
No, I could win a lot of games if I had that kind of power.
Yeah.
In fact, my team would be undefeated if I had that kind of power.
You would be, yeah, the lone undefeated broadcaster that ever lived.
I could put in for a real hefty raise too.
Yeah.
So Saladin's in the box for Team Switzerland. And we've got another penalty here against Joel Kurt. So he goes to the box at 14:23. The first penalty at 14:11. This one at 14:23. So Slovakia is going to have a lengthy two-man advantage, 1:49 of a two-man advantage, and you couldn't gift wrap an opportunity to get back into a game down by 2 late in the contest.
And Slovakia's power play has been really good throughout this tournament.
No question about that. The LT is shot up and it goes wide of the net. The question for Rastislav Palov, the head coach, is does he think about pulling his goaltender to have a 6-on-3 skater advantage out there?
Yeah, I think that might have been a good play to pull the goaltender.
Here's a shot from the top of the left circle by Pitka that stopped. Mitro. Here's a blast from the top of the left circle again by Pitka. You got to put the puck on net. Pitka again. Here's a shot from a steep angle. It's stopped by Kirsch. Rebound. Loose behind the net. Antonin chops it into the near corner. 53 seconds remaining on the two-man advantage, and the Swiss are able to clear.
I didn't like that shot from the steep angle on a 5-on-3. There was no need to panic, and I think that they could have made a better play.
35 seconds remaining in the two-man advantage, and an offside call against Team Slovakia. And I was about to say, Kyle, if Slovakia could get a face-off in the attacking zone, you pull your goaltender, then you set things up with a 6-on-3. The only problem with that is you probably never practice a 6-on-3 situation.
Yeah, I think it would be something where you just have one guy like kind of parked in front of the net, taking the eyes away from Kirsch, and then run maybe your normal 5-on-3 set.
Battle for the puck at the top of the right circle. It's shoveled to the side of the net. Nice play there by Reber to bump a man off the puck. Slovakia keeps control. 15 seconds remaining in the two-man advantage. 24 seconds now remaining in the power play. Cross-ice pass is picked off, and Reber's going to bounce it down the ice right in on Pohanka. He'll play it ahead to center ice. And the first man's out of the box for Switzerland, and they've got 8 seconds to go, and they will kill off both penalties. So a great job of penalty killing by Team Switzerland here. And we're down to 3:35 to play, so the Swiss kill off both penalties. The only 2 penalties of the game called to this point, and they came just seconds apart, 12 seconds apart to be exact, and the Swiss killed them both off. So congrats to the Swiss on making that happen, because the game could have definitely turned. Late in the period, a two-man advantage for a minute 40 plus. Here come the Swiss. And it's chopped back to the line. Flipped deep in the zone by Ustenkov. Under 3 to play. I think on that two-man advantage for Slovakia, maybe the fatigue was starting to show a little bit. They just didn't have the jump in their legs that they needed to get to loose pucks. As the puck flutters in on Kirsch, and he'll glove it and hold on with 2.5 to play in the third period.
Yeah, but also credit the Swiss too on that kill. It's tough to kill a 5-on-3, and they did a good job of being aggressive when they needed to on some of the loose pucks, getting the clears when they did, being a little bit more passive and structured when they needed to, and they were able to kill it off cleanly.
Keep our eyes on Pohanka here as we're down to 2:20 to play in the period. And Slovakia down by 2. Pohanka's kind of looking toward the bench for a signal to come off the ice, but you've got to get the puck into the attacking zone first. Nice play along the blue line by Kurt to keep it in the zone. Joel Kurt, one of the 3 goal getters. Whirling. along the far boards. Wrist shot is blocked. Worley plays it into the corner. Antonin gets it back to Kurt. He flips it toward the net. Knocked out of midair and handed off on the right side. Here's Saxa. 100 seconds to play in the third period, and Pohanka is still in the goal for Slovakia. Kurt spins away from a man behind his own net. It's chopped ahead, and here comes Reber. He'll get it over to the right side. Forget couldn't get a shot off, and now it's cleared out to center ice. 1:15 left. And the puck's going to be cleared back down into the Switzerland zone. So the Swiss are just a minute away from winning their final game of the tournament, their first of the tournament, and some redemption for having played very well throughout. And they'll finally get rewarded for that play. And a tired Slovakia team that's missing a couple of key players. Not only is Theo Kiss out of the lineup, but Samuel Kupes is also missing. And we're down to the final half minute here at the Ed Robeson Arena in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Excuse me, Ken, it's been a good last couple minutes for the Swiss, getting back on the attack, not letting Slovakia get anything going.
Kurt has his shot blocked. It's going to roll back into the Swiss zone. And we're down to the final 10, and the Swiss players, they're starting to feel it. They know they're going to head home with a victory under their belt. And that's going to make the long trip home that much better, that much easier. And the horn sounds to end this one. Switzerland wins it. Final score, Switzerland 3 and Slovakia 1.
A goal in each of the periods for the Swiss. They are very happy, obviously, to get that win after playing a pretty good tournament. I mean, 1 and 3 is not going to show it's not indicative of how Switzerland played throughout the tournament.
No question about it. You know, the Swiss end the tournament being outscored by just 2 goals in the 4 games, and that normally would indicate maybe a 500 record. They probably should have been 2-2 as the Swiss national anthem is played here at the Robeson Arena. And stick taps on the ice from Team Switzerland. The 2 squads will shake hands. And for Team Slovakia, obviously a tough task today as they were playing their 4th game in as many days. And the quick turnaround from last night. But Switzerland, congratulations to Team Switzerland. They get their first and only win of the tournament. And they do it in a rather dominating fashion. They outshoot Team Slovakia by almost a 2-1 margin with with a goal in each period. And Kyle, a really good performance from Team Switzerland today.
Yeah, I thought that it was a great performance, and they knew that although they weren't going to be playing for a title, they were playing for pride. They were playing to get in that tie for third and to win their final game. I mean, you got to remember, they lost a close one to the Czechs. They lost a close one to Team USA. They lost a close one to Germany. And so they were playing well throughout the tournament. Nice to see them get their first win and end on a positive note.
No question about it. Let's take a look at the highlights in the third period from this one here this afternoon. And the Swiss took a two-goal lead into the third. The story for Team Slovakia was the play of David Pohanka in goal.
Yeah, he, right from the beginning, was able to make a number of really good saves. There was the lone goal from Slovakia, and you thought that maybe they would push after that, but shortly after, the Swiss, with a great face-off play and beats Pohanka on the blocker side. That's how you wanted to see the Swiss respond after giving up a goal.
No question about it. The Swiss responded, and then they basically shut down Team Slovakia. Slovakia had a great opportunity late in the third period. They had a two-man advantage. We see them here working with that two-man advantage, but the Swiss penalty killers did a great job. It was a long two-man advantage, minute 48 seconds worth of a two-man advantage, but Team Switzerland did the job they needed to do, and they end up winning the game by a 3-1 final. Look at the stats again. Switzerland, the dominant team today.
Yeah, 43 shots on goal compared to 25 for Slovakia. Switzerland took those back-to-back penalties in the third, but Slovakia, I think, was just a little too fatigued on that 5-on-3. They were missing the net on shots. They weren't getting to the pucks that they normally would have at the beginning of the tournament. Credit the Swiss for what they did on the penalty kill, and it ends up in a 3-1 victory for them.
9 of the 10 games have been played, so let's take a look at the updated standings. The two teams at the top will square off a little bit later this evening. Czechia and Team USA. That game is for the tournament title, but the win by Switzerland forces a three-way tie for third place. The Swiss, the Germans, and Slovakia all ending up the tournament with a 1-3 record. And you hate to see a team come all this way and not taste victory. So Slovakia, Germany, and Switzerland, they all had a chance to smile and taste victory. And for Switzerland, certainly redemption, because they had played so well. And again, a great tournament to this point, but the excitement is going to build for the final game this evening. And there you see it. It'll be Team USA and Czechia at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 on the East Coast. And the wee early morning over in Prague and the rest of Czechia and Kyle. That should be a great hockey game tonight.
Yeah, these two teams have been the best two teams throughout the tournament. It's going to be, I think, a fast and heavy game. There's going to be a lot of action up and down the ice. And Team USA looking to get their second straight victory.
No question about it. So, the final here this afternoon from Colorado Springs, Switzerland 3 and Slovakia 1. Team USA and Czechia coming up in a couple of hours. And that should be a great one. So that'll do it here from Robeson Arena on this Saturday afternoon. For our entire crew, the folks at Hockey TV, and Kyle Hewson, I'm Ken Landau. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We will talk to you in a little bit when the Team USA and Team Czechia square off for the Five Nations Tournament title. Until then, enjoy.